That's right, I'm still not dead. Thanks for people who thought I was. I'm not. Hello, this is Kicking Dust, episode 50. This is a game we played last night, and I can't really continue acting like nothing's happened, so we're going to have a bit of a longer video and have a bit of a chit-chat and talk about what's going on. I haven't done one of these videos for so long. It feels so strange doing another one, because it's been an age since I last did one. But I thought it was worth doing because I don't know what's going on. Let's start at the beginning. As with all good stories, let's start at the beginning. So we never gave up on YouTube. I know a lot of people thought we did. We did take a break because, work has been horrendous. This is we as in trouble and myself. We've just had an absolute flipper of a year. That's a flipper because that's obviously a polite thing to say. We've just had a flipper of a year. And it's just been so busy. It's just so much going on. And every so often you kind of have these, and you all know this, I don't know why I'm telling you, but you will have these moments in your life where you think, well, I could kind of just coast, or I could actually knuckle down, pull up my trousers and hang on, where am I going with this? This sounds like I was caught flashing. And just really kind of throw yourself into the job because, it's worth doing, blah, blah, blah. So, I think that's certainly what we did. We went through quite a momentous period with work because obviously it was an interesting time is all I will say. But I would feel we've come through to the other side of that now, and things are looking good. So I had a spare moment to plug everything in. Everything's changed, and let me just go through this. Windows 10, I now play on a laptop. I know, crazy. I've got an Alienware laptop. I know I'm a shameful beast because I moved away from my desktop. I've now got a nice Alienware. I'd recommend it, by the way. I know I'm not paid by Alienware. I wish I was, but no, I'm not. We bought it. It was flipping expensive, but we bought two actually. One for Trevor, one for me, just because we thought it would be a wise move, and I think it has. It's certainly a wonderful example of what the new processors can do. And I'm not going to turn this into a very interesting tech discussion, but for us it was interesting to see that. Anyway, moving on. So the PS3 is still going, but this is a different PS3. My PS3 broke, so I actually fooled Trouble into giving me her PS3, so I'm actually playing this on her PS3. So many different things have changed. Everything is different now. Just unbelievably difficult getting a video together. I've no idea how to navigate YouTube, so God knows if this video will even make it. But there we go. So it's been such a long time since we did a Dust video, and nothing's changed. I know that sounds horrendous. In fact, some things have. Certainly as I went through the menu options, I was surprised and assaulted in my visual eyeball units to see that there's things like progression. What the hell is progression now? And many other things. So I think, I'm going to do a little bit of a sneak thing where I'm going to trick Trouble into doing a video because I think it would be good to walk through what Dust looks like with her. And I'm saying this, I have no idea if people even watch Dust videos anymore. I watched a few. I watched a couple of videos recently by Boom Bros. He's very good player, very good player, certainly better than the build you're watching here. Seriously, I would run up to somebody saying, haha, I'm going to kill you, and then I start swapping guns instead of firing bullets in their face. It's that bad. I just can't remember how to play this flibbling game at all. Anyway, so I think generally I'm interested to see what's different. It was fun, I would say. We had a real blast with this map, playing with Stefan the Almighty and Schley. It was amazing. All three of us just happened to be passing on a train, and it was like, oh my god bro, and we just bear hugged it out. There was a few tears, and then before we knew it, it was like dust brah, and we played this game. And we had actually this is a really close match, and I'm not going to spoil it with who wins or loses, but I would suggest you stick around to the end. Anyway, I think it's still an interesting game. Very fast paced, I must admit, after playing Fallout, because I've been doing a bit of Fallout when I've had time. It's just a totally different change of pace. Now, watch this gun battle here. This is how bad I have become at this game. I just can't play it. I'm not very good at it anymore. It's just difficult. Oh, in fact, it's not even that bit. That's how bad the film is. So, to be honest, I have no idea if anyone's going to watch this. I have no idea if anybody even cares that we're doing another Dust video. I don't really care because, again, I would just stress. The point of doing YouTube is you're never going to make money doing YouTube. Even the really big YouTubers don't make a lot of money. And they have to do horrible things like Twitch. And, you know, if you've seen things like what the Fine Brothers are trying to do with copywriting the word react, it's silly things like that that just turns, you know, YouTube turns people into kind of idiots. So we were a bit skeptical of doing it again. And I mean, it's not as if we kind of said, right, we're going to quit, we're not going to do any more videos. But we did almost sort of say, well, why don't we just film stuff and do it for our own amusement? Because, you know, gaming is something that is deeply enjoyable, and I think it's just one of those kind of hobbies that I think is still a little bit underrepresented. And, you know, if you look at YouTube, the vast majority of it is either Dota, Battlefield 3 or 4, whatever, and then you're into things like Minecraft, and there's not really a kind of indie scene as much as I would love there to be. And I think this is kind of the problem. Most people will say, well, let's go and play COD, and that way we can make millions watching people with clicking our videos and stuff. It doesn't work that way. I think you have to kind of pitch yourself at a particular like audience. And we always knew that Dust videos would never pay the mortgage. It was always going to be something that would be a labour of love. And I think we never regretted that. And I think playing this game again and having just look at my aim. Shocking, I know. I can't wait to read the comments on this. Lol, Pyrex, you're like an old granddad playing on his kid's PS3. Well, you wouldn't be too far from the truth. How do people use controller? How do people have that kind of coordination with their hands? It's like, I mean, when you were younger, right? Or if you are young, when you try and take a lady's bra off, and you know what I'm talking about, you're all kind of fingers and thumbs to begin with. Well, that was me playing this game right now. I honestly, it was like I was playing with the world's most trickiest bra, trying to get like the thing to do what you need it to do, and you're kind of wrestling with the controller saying, why aren't you getting off? I want to see a bit of boob. And I think that was my whole kind of race on Deadra through this, was how the bloody hell do you use these controllery things? So I've got to admit, you don't expect excellence in this one. You can tell there's no excellent play in this because there's no drum bass and drum beat and R&B, whatever. It's just me talking about computer games. So there we go. Now watch this gun battle about to begin here. This is like watching your dad dance at a wedding. This is getting embarrassing. Look at this. This is embarrassing. I just couldn't aim. I was, just shocking. Now I'm amazed I didn't kill myself, and I'm also amazed he didn't kill me. I don't know what was going on, but seriously, brah, this is embarrassing. This is how bad I am at the game now. So, you know, I got like a few people sort of saying, hey, Pyrex, do you want to team up? Do you want to gang with us? And it was like, seriously, we're terrible at this game now. You don't want to gang with us. We are literally the worst players of this game. And, you know, you see some of these people in Proto. I mean, is that guy in Proto? Certainly looks like he is. My God, they're really good. And I think it's just testament how good some people have got at this game. Although I did kill him, there we go. However, I think this game, and here we go, we're going to kind of do a quick retrospective. This game is still a hell of a lot of fun. Now, I know a huge amount of you watch these videos, or at least used to. God, for all I know, no one's going to watch this, and I'm talking to myself. It's like Friday night in the pub again. Oh my God, this is sad. Then again, some nice kills. Anyway, so I think if nobody watches this this video, that's fine. But for me, it felt like a therapeutic session where, after all of months of putting up with people and having to do what I'm told and having to be nice and having to be civil and just wanting to literally draw the dick butt man on my on my presentations, I can see why people do start to flip out, let's say. And I think you do need a vent. Now, I know most corporate-y style people, they don't vent like this. It's funny because I always remember watching, what was that program? House of Cards. I don't know if you've seen it. It used to be a British program, really good British program. And then the Americans took it and then you turned it into something admittedly quite very good. And the guy in it plays Call of Duty, I believe, to relax. Now, I always loved that. When I first saw that, I was like, yeah, Jeremy Bear. Because nobody would admit to that. Nobody does that. But I think it's surprising how many corporate-y style people actually do now, I would say, play games to relax. This is the new version of squash. It's electronic squash. There we go. I think it's still a great way to vent. I've missed it, in fact. I think I certainly have been working so hard that I think I've got through to this point where I didn't really actually do anything to relax, and I probably just started to go a bit strange, or stranger, let's say. So I think it's a really great thing to do, and I've got to admit, I really did miss it. Anyway, back to my original point. A lot of you that watch my videos, or used to, let's say, you probably don't play Dust anymore because it's like, you don't have a PS3 or whatever. And that's cool, but I think if you do, give it a go. It was actually rather fun. Gang size is now limited to 4. That was news, didn't know that. Not sure if that's good or bad. I think it's good because it probably means you get less stomping. I don't know. Post in the comments, is that true? Those of you who still play. Is that true? I'd be interested to know why they dropped that. I'd probably say it's probably a good thing. But again, there's probably not too many more changes. I still think, maps like this, you're probably not going to see any more maps, that's for truth. But I would say this was actually a huge amount of fun. So I think you've got to kind of balance it. I think certainly just playing this kind of fast, claustrophobic, kind of close quarter style battle was a joy. It really was. And I still think if they could just bottle this or kind of transfer it, that would be awesome. Now, I made a funny tweet, and it's something that's actually stuck in my mind a bit. I was jokingly tweeting, oh, well, maybe we should start a Kickstarter and actually go fund yourself our own version or port of the wonderful game Dust 514. Now, to be honest, TCP will never sell the intellectual property for this, but let's face it, you could just copy it pretty much brick for brick, function for function, because they haven't copyrighted a concept. Let's say you can't do that, but you certainly could. I think, in my opinion, create something very akin to Dust in a new engine, maybe. Using the Unreal 4 engine or Unreal whatever engine is apparently not very good. I was talking to Schley. He's a programmer. He knows this stuff. He is wise in the ways of the code, and he was basically saying it's not a good thing they've done this in the Unreal Engine because let's face it, what other game recently has been done in Unreal Engine other than probably the next version of Unreal? Probably nothing really, but because there hasn't been that kind of new game, it's probably not the best thing to do it in when you think you could do it in something a bit more flashy and whizzy. So I think there's probably going to be some truth in that kind of... don't worry, I'm not going to go and crowdsource the next Dust. I have no interest in doing such. But it's interesting to see that actually there is that kind of... interest, let's say. I was surprised, actually, and I've had a few people, just comment that, oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea. And, you think about it nowadays, you probably could do a pop-up, quick start kind of smaller studio. You could even possibly buy the code off CCP Direct. If you offer them a bunch of money, because it's not maybe any use to them. Look at Legion. Legion is a working prototype somewhere. You could probably go and buy some of the elements of that and plug it in and then finish it. So I'd be interested in that. I don't think CCP would, but I'd love to do it myself. But there we go. I don't think we're going to see anything ported anytime soon. Just sad, sorry to say, but I don't. And I don't think we're going to see anything on the PC very soon either. Now, I could be wrong. It would be lovely to... There's FanFest is apparently approaching. It would be lovely to hear that FanFest, announces a whole new Dust product line. I don't know. I can't imagine it. I think you're going to be flying to Iceland on those pigs rather than actually hearing that message. But it would be awesome if it was. I say this as somebody who's not played the game for flipping ages, and I had like a good couple of matches. For all I know, it's still abysmal. The problem is I don't know many people, if any, who play the game anymore either. So, I think if you're still playing, hit me up. I'm lonely. I'd like to play with someone who, a gang of people who know what they're doing. That's so sad, isn't it? I might as well just sit here and cry and beg, which I'm not actually opposed to doing, but I think the general, first impressions back is it's still a very fun game. I did have a real blast playing it, and I think surprisingly enjoyable. Actually, I think when you look at this sort of manic, remote explosives. Oh, I just killed myself like an idiot. this kind of very close quarter battles. I can't really think of any other game where they've replicated that, maybe. Oh no, I was killed by a remote explosive. There we go. I can't think of many other games that have this feel. And it's funny because, for all of its problems, there are some really nice moments in Dust. Just pure joy moments. And I think, particularly I remember the tanking. And again, I'm going to sound like an old bitter vet here, but I guess that's what I am. Just a note, by the way, they just completely off the point. If you were going to guess at this point who won, then place your bets, because I think you might be surprised. There you go, I've given it away. But I do remember certainly the tanking was always fun. When Delboy and I would do our kind of tag team tanking, that was fun. I mean, I was watching some old videos of that recently, and it was like, oh my god, that was fun. Because there was a lot of tactics at play. There was a lot of kind of switch and bait. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd be the Madruga running ahead saying, woo, over here. And then the tank would run after me, and then Del would basically kind of, walk up behind them and lift the skirt and finish the act. And it was always really kind of cool to see that. That sounded a bit morbid, but anyway, so it was always, that to me was always an incredibly fun part of the game. And from what I can tell, tanking is still very much a lot of fun. So, thumbs up there. I also actually, I may do, it's depending on how this, video does, I might do another one, because I had another game before this one where we did, I can't remember what the map's called, but it was basically where, just having a real blast like this, but in a bit more open context. But I kind of flew a dropship into the map, into underneath the cover of the map. And it was interesting. It was actually a lot of fun. It was fascinating sort of feeling that was... the vehicles still are very much part of the game, and I'm really glad that seems to be the case. Post in the comments if I've got that wrong, because it would be awesome to know certainly that vehicles are still used. I mean, in this case, they weren't terribly useful in this one, because obviously there's not a lot they can do, but oh my god, I had so much fun doing it, and I definitely would recommend, if you don't do anything else, just log into the game and have a go at tanking again. That was a huge amount of fun. So there we go. I don't really know too much more than that, I'm afraid. I've heard some pretty negative things about the support that CCP are giving it. I'm not going to go there, don't worry, but I just, what I heard was that nobody's really talking. Nobody's heard from Retardie for a while and things like that. So that's a shame. I hope everything's okay. But I think, a lot of the time as well, all you're hearing from CCP is about Valkyrie. Now, I still have my issue with Valkyrie, and it still stands, which is, I don't really want to spend £600. I mean, seriously, $600 and £600 is an absolute screw you to the British and to Europeans, because that's like, they're basically charging us 33% more in terms of exchange rate. And I think that's a bit harsh, really, when you think about it. But anyway, so, that is a lot of money to play a game about a fighter. I mean, seriously, it's a huge amount of money. I'm not sure I can kind of warrant that. I'm worried about how much that is looking out it's going to be, but we'll see. I don't really hear much about Eve either. And this is because generally I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's still kind of... I mean, I'm sure it's as popular as it ever was, but again, you never hear anything, because I still read things like, Reddit and Kotaku, or whatever it's called, and, things like this. I do read general media and that, and I'm always interested to see what, what's making the headlines. And, a lot of games that you thought, well, surely there's still quite a strong community here and there. There's just not, and I don't really get that same warm, fuzzy feeling that there's a great kind of group of players playing Eve anymore. And again, I hope I'm wrong, because, Eve, I played that game like crazy. But, when you start to hear about some of the things that's going on, it's interesting. And I do hope it's going well. And, this is why it's funny, because I actually logged on the night before this. This is the 2nd of February right now. And I logged on last night, and the server was down, and I had a kind of mini panic thinking, oh my god, have they switched the server off? And I really did sort of think, whoa, what's going on? So I actually wasn't sure if the game was still up. So obviously I was joyed to see the next day when I looked at it, it was on. And this was the second game we played, and that is a great, I think, testament to the game. It's still got a lot wrong with it. I'm not going to be overly gushy about it. I'm just amused that it's inspired me enough to do a video, if anything, because part of me was like, well, is anyone going to give a crap? But then again, you think to yourself, well, to be honest, if no one watches it, that's fine. That's fine, bro. I'll sit here and cry into my tea. So there you go. Who's going to win now, would you say? I mean, surely it's looking good for us, question mark. A wonderful example where we push them out, they push us out, we push them out again, they push us out, and then lo and behold, we've pushed them out, and now it's up to them to get us with 20 clones and, you know, that amount of tickage left on the MCC. This definitely is the kind of games that you want, and I think if every game was like this, I think this game would be, you know, very healthily subscribed to still, which I was surprised there wasn't a great deal of people playing, which is a bit negative. So, you know, what you can't make people play, but what I did find is as soon as people don't win, I mean, look at that, 2 guys just left the game because they didn't want to lose. That sucks. That really does suck. I don't know if they left because they were going to lose, but it certainly suggests that they possibly were. And I think that's kind of a shame, really. I think that's probably a bit of a worrying trend. But again, it's a free-to-play game. What do you expect? When you look at maybe what is going on with the game as well, it certainly seems that there's apparently, quote, an influx of other players from other parts of the world. So that's cool. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but it certainly seemed to be. I've heard some people telling me basically that, you know, there's a lot of people now playing from China. Again, post in the comments if that's true. If that's the case, ni hao. I don't know if I got that right. But anyway, so I think, you know, it would be nice to see if there was much more of a group of emerging players that would take this game forward. It would be nice. But I just think when you look at it, you know, I've just finished playing Fallout 4. When you look at this, it does need that little bit of love. But then again, look at that. Look at the push we're having right now. Fantastic. Love it. Really, really cool. And I just think if all the matches were like this game would be very healthy. But obviously, it's not. So there we go. Goodness me, we're coming to the end of another video. And it's been a video that we've done, well, let's face it, it's been a while. And I hope that this has been of interest. I don't know. Post in the comments. I think, you know, a lot of the time we just generally try and do stuff that is fun. And I say we, Treble and I, we're still kicking, still doing this. And again, people still think she's my girlfriend. I have no idea where that comes from. Just because she's a girl, G-U-R-L, doesn't mean that she's my girlfriend. So no, we're not. But it's interesting to see that kind of, you know, YouTube has changed completely. The technology has changed completely. There's, you know, just huge amounts of stuff going on now, and you know, we've seen some pretty horrible things that just make me very negative to the whole kind of YouTube and the industry generally. So, you know, for example, the Patreon websites, things like that, I don't know if I approve of things like that. They worry me a bit. You know, I can kind of see why people would do it, but I think anytime you start making money off something, you're never going to really be as dedicated and as passionate. I remember YouTube when it first started, and it was filled with really funny kind of, you know, cheeky funny stuff, and then when money became involved, all of a sudden everybody started copying and screwing each other over and copywriting words now, and it just feels like it's getting a bit of a Wild West, and I don't know if I like that. It worries me a bit. But anyway, there we go. Hell of a match. Hope you enjoyed that as well. Post in the comments, let me know if you're still playing. If you're not, tell me why. God damn it, I want to know why you think you can be basically, you know, bunk off dust. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed that, and maybe we'll be back soon.